Hello and welcome to Coach Marketing Mastery live stream podcast. India Kern in the house.
Good morning.
What's up, India? As I look for the slides, you go ahead and tell everybody what time it is.
It is time for our podcast. Happy Memorial Day.
Okay, everyone's going to get mad that you said that now.
Why?
Because it's honorable Memorial Day. People don't, it's a time of memory for the people that gave their lives for the country. Yeah. And I say happy Memorial Day, but people right now that are watching the stream are right now losing their minds because they think there's a certain way that everyone should talk and it should be in line with their narrative. So,
well, let's honor those that have served.
There you go. And I choose to be happy today. I'm trying to figure out how to open this. Okay. So we're going to go over strategies for, okay. Well, I had the wrong thing anyhow.
Price strategies.
So these are pricing strategies. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go over the pricing strategies today. Mm-hmm. And
you don't have to share the slides unless you just want.
Okay. Well, we don't need to share the slides, but we're going to go over everything. So and I'm just going to share them anyhow.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Whoa, look, they changed the slideshow. So you go presenter view. Mm-hmm. And presenter view is where it pops off. And then you have to literally break your browser and bring it over and then hit F11 on Microsoft. Now it's full screen. Okay, so let's share the screen.
Okay.
And we're going to go over everything. So then that's going to be right here. We're going to say entire screen. We're going to say this. And so what we're going over today is
pricing strategies, finding your sweet spot.
Yeah. So that's going to, so the outline is going to be finding your perfect pricing model, right? Understanding things. So the 5 things, what are the 5 things we're going to go over today?
Well, I thought there were 3 things. I don't know if there's 5.
Well, are you looking at the screen?
No, I can't see. You're not sharing. You're not sharing.
Yes, I am. So finding your perfect pricing model, understanding and utilizing pricing tiers and attracting clients. Okay. So the services are going to be your value-based pricing, the one-time strategy session, package bundle deals, and subscription model and group coaching. So all of these are going to have different prices. There's a naming convention. There's stuff that drives me crazy that people don't do right. So I guess the thing we'll go over first is going to be the value-based pricing. So what does that mean?
Well, to me, it's like, what do you feel good about charging? Because if you feel like it's too much, I feel, it'll come across. And you have to feel like you're worth X amount. If you feel like you're undervaluing yourself, then that'll come across. If you feel like you're charging too much, that will also come across. So you have to find what resonates with you. And so everyone's pricing is different on how they value themselves. Now, you're not sharing the screen, right? Because I can't see anything. I just see you.
Do you want me to click on stop sharing?
Well, I'm just saying that I don't see anything. I just see you. Okay. So what do you think? What is it to you, value pricing?
Well, first of all, I think that Restream drives me nuts. So it's going to be finding your perfect pricing model, understanding and utilizing, and then these 5 things. So the value-based pricing, and by what you're saying, is a lot of people that are new coaches, their question is always, how much should you charge? Well, there's a kid during the pandemic. He wrote a program for financial planners. Mm-hmm. And he was not a financial planner. He was like 21. He had never been to college. He was right out of high school. So he's just a couple of years out of raising his hand on, can I go to the bathroom teacher, right? Right. And he was making $50,000 a month.
Yeah,
Any
we have a Scott Silverman's in the room.
with us right now?
Yeah. He said, "Hi guys." It's a friend of mine. Go on. Sorry to interrupt.
So he's in the chat. So yeah, so the thing is, a lot of new coaches, when you find your value base. So one of the things that I tell people is you do not sell from your pocket. So what that means is a lot of people are going to say, and we have coaches right now that, and it's okay when you're doing proof of concept, will this sell? And it's okay to say, hey, I'm only $20 an hour or $7, whatever the price is. You got to go out there and get $1 from people. But when I think what a lot of coaches don't realize is they're worth more than they offer. I have this problem myself, right? Where I charge less than what I'm worth, but I want to get that dollar. I can always raise the prices later. But another thing is selling from your pocket. So there's people that will offer you more money, but you're really not looking at what they can afford or what they're willing to invest in or the value they see in you. And so this is a really tricky one for everybody and anybody, and even me. And I'm going through this right now. So, okay. So the next thing is the one-time strategy session. So do you charge for those or are they free? That's the question.
Well, I think you charge them. So here's my theory on this is like the first dollar, like you say, is the hardest one to get, right? So you can get someone in the door with a one-time strategy, whatever your coaching is. So maybe it's say you are helping people with their finances after divorce, and you do that one-time strategy to help them organize themselves for their financial future with the hopes that they're going to retain you for more sessions. But that initial one-time strategy fee might be like $350. And so you get them in the door and then they really like you. And you're like, okay, so now you get to decide how you want to charge them, if they want to continue with you, whether it's a package, a subscription, how you want to do it. So I love an entry level because I offer a package in my divorce coaching. But I usually get them in with just do one session and see how it goes. And then if you like what we're doing together, then we will apply that toward the package deal. So usually I incentivize them to buy more because the package deal, if you break it down, is less per session versus one session. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, it's either charging people. So a lot of people, and I'm a lot of this I'm going through right now. So a lot of people want to pick your brain. So what Roland says is, when someone asks a question, you go, okay, well, the way that works is you set a strategy session with me. It's 4 hours and it's $25,000. He is at that level where he can say that to people. A newer coach, you got to get the marbles out of your mouth first. And a lot of people do a discovery session, which means it's going to be a sales call. Almost everyone knows there's going to be a pitch in the discovery session. Go up expecting to spend money. Some people just go in there to see what your funnel is or to see what your process is, how you go about closing and opening and closing business. But then the paid session is a little bit more tricky because you have to first have that perceived value in order for people to pay for that session with you. Okay. And of course, like I said, I'm going through this right now where I'm like, look, it's this much money for this. But then I went in and supposedly I confused the people, but I don't want to go into the dramas of my business. Every business has drama. And even the organized clutter-free coaches, they're the ones that have problem with organization and clutter. That's why they teach that. But it's really difficult to get people to pay you up front when you don't have that branded, your business isn't branded appropriately in the beginning. Okay. So then I don't know if that made any sense or if you want to add anything on top of it.
Well, the only thing I want to add is, like you said, the discovery session. I think a lot of coaches fall into the trap of actually coaching and counseling and consulting in that discovery session, which is a big mistake because most people walk away and like, oh, I feel good now. Whereas you want to really dig into the pain where they want more. And so I see that a lot. I definitely did it in the beginning. Now it's more about me asking questions and getting to the root to understand where they are rather than coaching on that discovery call.
Yeah. Everyone gets into gives away the the keys to the kingdom in the beginning because
Mhm.
they're just getting the marbles out of their mouth. They really don't know how to make the offer. And that's fine. And that's why we suggest in 100 first referrals, you do this with your friends first. You got your marbles out of your mouth. They know, like, and trust and adore you because you're adorable, right? So if you do it with your friends first and take them through coaching sessions, by
Mhm.
the time you get to your market, now you know how to say things. Now, one of the things I will say about this is in the beginning, I gave away a lot of information. And we have this thing in my industry where people say, give me a proposal. Well, I'm going to tell you what a proposal is. A proposal is, here is what I propose we do. And you give them everything that you'll do for them. Well, and I'm just saying in corporate America, if I'm the person that accepts the proposals, I'm getting about 5 or 10 of them. Okay. But what a lot of people do is they ask one person for a proposal in our industry,
Mhm.
then they take that proposal and they go to other people and go, what would you do this for?
Yeah, they shop
Right.
it. Right.
So they shop your proposal. Now, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It doesn't matter. It's business. But the deal is you lose all perceived value because what happens and what's happened, and everyone I talk to, digital marketer, keep partners, I'm partners with a lot of companies, I mean, a lot of communities. Everyone says that when they send a proposal, they never win it. Never, right? Not like once in a while. Now, if you're in corporate America and you're dealing like with RFTs and you're doing stuff out there with the government, that's different.
Mhm.
So the other thing is what I had to do is I said, these are things you're going to get, but I have to say it in a way to where they can't Google it and figure it out. Even if they could Google it and they could figure it out, they're not going to be able to do it. I just made an image for India and I showed it. It was a little like a Yugo, right? Those cars that were like $300 in the 90s, and it had a cardboard Ferrari on top of it, and
Right.
then it had an Enzo Ferrari. And I was saying, people like me, we make Enzo Ferraris, and then there's the other people that are going to say, oh well, we'll do it, and we'll do charge 10% of that,
Right.
and then you end up getting a go-kart. You get what you pay for,
Exactly.
right? And then
Mhm.
people like they end up getting banned or blacklisted. You know, it's sad watching this happen, but that's the real world. Now, when it comes to the package bundle and deals, this is the one thing that everybody should get a pen and paper right now and try to figure out how this works. So go ahead. What do you mean by the package and bundle deals?
Well, so with coaching, for me, I have a package deal of 5
And you could
sessions.
just talk about coaching in general.
Yeah, coaching in general, a package where you offer 3, 5, 10, whatever it is, and you incentivize them. So maybe one is $500, but the package, when you break it down, would be like 450 each or whatever, 400 each. So it incentivizes them. And plus, we all know that one session is rarely enough. It barely scratches the surface. These people need to do more than one session. So it incentivizes them financially to do more, but it also helps you be a better coach because we all know that one coaching session is not enough.
Yeah, and people kind of expect it now. They expect bundles. I just went to buy some stuff for software for some licensing that I do. And I asked the guy, hey, do you have a bundle? I'd rather just buy a bunch of them,
Mm-hmm.
just one, more than
Right.
just one, right? And and you know, then we went down this thing of, well, we have bundles and this is how it works, and it will work this way and it won't work that way. But the thing about bundles, just in general, is that you can offer a step by step by step. Like, first step, we're going to do this. Second step, we're going to enhance the first step. And the third step is going to enlarge and advance the first two steps, right? One of my favorite quotes, I think, in a Quentin Tarantino movie, I can't remember. Oh no, it's John Travolta in a movie about
Pulp
a train.
Fiction.
No,
Pulp.
it's the Taking the Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Mm.
But they say, well, what's plan B? And he goes, plan B is to enforce plan A, right? So you could do that in your bundle. You could say, hey, we're going to do this, plan A, and plan B is just to enhance plan A, just make it better. So your bundle actually enhances and gets better and makes the whatever your service or offer better at the end, rather than displacing everything and making everything convoluted, which in some cases you would want to do that. It seems like we're going to rip right through these.
Yeah, but we have more slides, you know?
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the subscription model, what do you think about that?
That to me is the best.
Okay. Who does one-on-one coaching? I know people that do that, and I'm just like, I don't get it.
Well, one-on-one, I mean, is how a lot of coaches structure their business.
Okay.
The subscription is recurring, so that's what's so great about subscription is that you have them and you have them for month after month, and you can combine it with group coaching, right? So you could do a subscription model, either like a one-on-one subscription, or you could do group coaching, which is what we do in our Coach Marketing Mastery.
Yeah. And the thing is, the best thing about the subscription model is you really don't want people to show up when you have them on a subscription. And people will go, well, that's a real jerk thing to say, Sean. Well, all of the people listening, I'm just going to say this. Do you have a gym membership? And if you do have a gym membership, when was the last time you were at the gym? Not you, India, because you just got out there. You're a freak.
I just was there.
You're a freak of nature. All right. But most 90% of the people that have a subscription to the gym don't go. They're like, someday they will go. Now, this is how it works. Just think if all of the people that had a gym membership all went during the same hour, they wouldn't fit in the gym. Now you could take all the people that have a gym membership and just have them go separate hours throughout an 8-hour span. They still wouldn't fit in the gym because that model is not designed in such a way to where everyone that is on the subscription can go in at the same time. So I have a gym membership. It's 2 miles away, but I also have a gym here. And I have a little, I bought a little bench, and I don't like leaving my house. I'm a homebody. But the thing is that literally the subscription model, people on our subscriptions, some show up, some don't, some watch the videos later, and some go into our memberships and quote around in there. But that leads us to the group coaching, which is really interesting, because the group coaching versus the one-on-one coaching, there's pros and cons to both of them. So what are the pros to group coaching?
The pros is that you can pack a room. The cons are, well, you got to be mindful of how many people you get in there. And you also have to be mindful of what stage they're in. So you don't want a beginner with it and a more advanced business owner that is actually making a lot of money, because they are not talking the same language. So you have to, and that goes for every type of coaching. I mean, that I could apply that to so many different types of professional. And so we have to do that. So we have to break it up in different classes.
Yeah, we actually have. So the way I describe it is so I'm from Hermosa Beach, which is the home of punk rock, but also of volleyball. It's not really the home of volleyball, but we have these volleyball tournaments out there. And when these guys come to our town, they're like 7 feet plus tall. I mean, it's crazy how tall people are. And you don't really notice it until the volleyball tournament comes to town. Well, all the guys that are like the like locals that play volleyball, they're like nothing when these guys come to town, right? So you can't go and say, hey, can I play? They're like, no. You're 5'7" or you're
Right.
5'10".
Right.
You know, well, I'm 7 foot. You can't play in our game. So we had to separate that too. We had to get the people. We have people that are paying 20 to 30 grand a year in other programs, and they're in our program. And then they're real businesses, we're making real money. And then we have the other people that are newer, that
Mhm.
they just want to know how to right button click a mouse. And so we have to keep those separate. So we got to keep the 7 feet tall people separate from the five. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Right.
What a 5 foot tall person can become a 7 foot tall person very easily overnight in 1 year.
Mhm.
You could be making multiple six digits to $1 million a year in 1 year in business. Justin Bieber made $20 million. He was like 15 to 16 years old, and he did it in 2008 when the whole country fell apart, right? So it can be done. Just ask Justin,
Mhm.
your favorite. All right. So then the what are the cons to group coaching?
Well, like I said, you could there well, there's usually one person that might dominate, so you have to manage that.
Right.
That's definitely something that I've learned in my
Yeah.
in doing group coaching.
So there's always the drama person. You got to learn how to handle this person. They're going to I call it, they put their fangs in your neck. They want to dominate, they want to take away, and any value they bring is zero. They bring zero value. They make everyone else angry. And the rest of the people in the group are like, I don't even want to come here anymore if that person's going to be there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so they quit coming and you start losing. So that's one thing. Also, you could have too many people in the group.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if you say, hey, you got 20 or 30 people, then you can only work with so many people. Now that might work for some groups, but we really want to focus on our people. So we keep ours to 10 people, and then we break it up throughout the week, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the other thing is, the downside to group coaching is getting people to show up and reminding them of the time that the coaching session takes place.
Yes.
Without them unsubscribing. Because one of the pro tips you need to do, and Infusionsoft does this, is people can unsubscribe, and then you could say, which list do you want to unsubscribe from? And then they go, I just don't want to get anything of your daily stuff, but I still want to get the group membership stuff, right? So that will segment them, and they don't unsubscribe. I had to do with Roland and Ryan, I had to create an email address specifically for their emails because they have 1 million, their list is 1 million people.
Right.
And to segment something like that, it's just, and then they opened up multiple businesses in 1 year, Scalable and Epic, all within 90 days. And it just went separate ways, kind of like a journey song, right? And so that's the other thing is getting people to stay on your email list without opting out. Okay. You have anything else, or should we go to the next slide?
No, go to the next slide.
So the next slide is going to be right here, if I can find it. So this is going over workshops and seminars and the difference between retaining people, having an online course, and your online course will go into how to build those. Sliding scale fees, you're going to probably go into that more than I will. And then intensive retreats and workshops and membership. So with the workshops and seminars, what's the difference between those?
I use that word interchangeably, but workshops, I guess, would be more hands-on, seminars more informative, but it's a great way to get in front of someone that you want possibly to refer you or to be your client. So speaking is an incredible way to get in front of the people you want to make or have refer you to your ideal client.
Yeah.
I know you do a lot of speaking. In fact, that's the goal, right? Is to do more speaking.
Right. So there's this guy, I think his name was David Wu. And he would say, come to my seminar. And he was the real estate tycoon of the 90s. I'm typing this all in as I speak. I'm trying to get his real name. Tom Wu. Do you remember Tom Wu?
No.
Tom Wu was, I think he was Filipino or something, and he came to America and he had nothing, and then he became a real estate mogul. And he used to always say, come to my seminar, right? And he'd have like all these girls on a boat, you know, or he'd buy a really nice car or in a mansion. And he's kind of one of the first guys to do that. It's really, I always thought it was funny. But the thing is, the seminar is going to be where it's one to many. You're talking to a lot of people and you're just saying stuff in general, right? A workshop is going to be, this is the topic. We're going to go over this. You're going to have a workbook. And when you leave, you're going to have an action to take. You're going to have like, it'll be like, this is how you build a funnel. This is your page 1. This is page 2. This is page 3. This is all the email copy. You're going to write all the copy. This is the texting. You're going to write all the texting. Now go home and go build it. That's a workshop. A seminar, they would talk about all that stuff, but they wouldn't take you through it step by step. Right. That's the way I vision these. Because I go to a lot of seminars. I'm going to one coming up. And I'll tell you what, I went to this thing. I went to Scalable out in Austin, Texas. But I read the book, what is it called? The 8 weeks in a year or something like that. The 12-week year.
Yes.
I read that book, and I mean, I got into it deep, and I wrote everything out. Every page, read it slowly, went back and read it again. And I spent a good 3 days, 8 hours a day, just going through that book. As I was going through, because this is Scalable is just that at a whole new level. Right. And then I went and did the Scalable stuff. And plus, since I'm an early bird with that, but that was a seminar. But you could treat a seminar like a workshop if you really dig into it, pay attention, and make it your own, and not go there to network and rub shoulders and hang out with your friends and eat caviar and drink champagne, which a lot of people do. Now, retainer services is a lot different. I kind of like these. What do you think of retainer services?
Well, I've done it before. It's kind of like if you think of an attorney, and the attorney takes a retainer and then uses it as they work, and then you usually have to re-up, right? So you could do that with, like, for you, Sharon, I'm sure you do it with like building funnels and doing Infusionsoft or Keep.
We're doing it right now. If you look at what we're doing with our high-end clients that are on subscription, they're paying. They never talk to us. They don't even show up. I give a hoot and a holler. I actually pull one of these megaphones out and hey, right? And they don't respond. They don't react, but they stay on the books. So that's a retainer. I have other people that are paying thousands of dollars a month and they won't talk to me. But when they do need to talk to me, I'm there.
Right.
And that's the best part about this for both of us. It's a win-win. Right. I can be, for those people, I can drop everything and they'll go, hey, we got this fire to fight. And I'm like, okay, I'm in there. Right. My calendar's full, but there are times that I can do that. And being that I'm doing the 4-hour work week, they only have a window of between those 4 hours that I work that week. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's called the 4-hour sleep week.
Yeah.
In my world.
All right. What about online courses?
What about here's the thing with the online courses. It's making them, a lot of people are like, how am I going to make an online course? And I got to go into ChatGPT and I got to do this and I got to make it recorded. Then they get all overwhelmed. They don't do it. All you got to do is invite your friends to a Zoom and say, hey, we're all going to get on a Zoom, and then you hit record, and you could use free Zoom and make it a half-hour long and say, hey, I'm a find your inner peace coach.
Right.
And then you could have your friends show up and you could say, okay, this is one way to find your inner peace, is you sit down and you find a comfortable place in your living room, and then you light some incense, and then you just sit quietly, right? And then people go, well, I do it a different way. Well, how do you do it? And then they say, and now that you're getting this content from people, some people might say, I put on some meditation music. Some people might say they whistle, like some people make noises when they meditate. Some people want to do yoga or some kind of pose. And other people want to, say there's a thing called the Zen of running, right? So some people might say that they meditate when they're running. I've been in that, by the way. I was in Austin, Texas. I went to run. I wanted to run 3 miles. I wanted to run a mile and a half up the Colorado River, which is Lake Travis in Austin, Texas. I wanted to run a mile and a half up and a mile and a half back. I went into the Zen of running, and 10 miles later, running one way, I stopped and I was like, oh my God, I'm in the mountains. So my point is that you get all this content together, and then just that one video, that's an online course. Then what you could do is you could invite your friends back and say, hey, and this is free Zoom at only 40 minutes, and say, can you tell us your story on how you do it steps 1 through 3 or steps 1 through 10 on how you do the Zen of running? And they'll go, okay, in the beginning, I do like this, I stretch, I make sure I have a good breakfast, I do some breathing, and then I start running, right? And then if you have 10 people do that, explain different things, you don't even have to have your own content. Your friends can do it for you.
Yeah. So I made one a long time ago in 2017. It was blood, sweat, and tears because I didn't do it that way. It's so much easier to do it that way. You teach, you get the content, you chop it up, you make a course. But I did it from scratch, and it was hard.
Yeah. I did the ultimate phone follow-up, which our friend, one of our members, commented on it and said that they wanted, it was good feedback. They wanted to know a different way of doing something that I taught.
Or something, right?
And I did that. I did that. I wrote everything. I made all the PowerPoints, and I sat and I talked in the microphone for hours, and then I had to edit it. This is before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to do editing software. I think it came out pretty good, but
yeah,
I don't know. So, and the other thing about online courses is you could upload them into YouTube and just make them the video restricted. We have ours in the gated community, so you have to be able to log, and it's not in Facebook or in any social media, YouTube. This is in our own private software to where we could put it up there and people have access to it. So it's really cool.
Right.
Now, the sliding scale fees, what does that mean? I don't understand.
I don't do this, but some people do it. They determine how to charge based on the client's financial situation. I don't do that. I've never done that. I do know coaches that do that.
Right. Yeah. Which is fine. And the thing with what I do for private clients, everyone needs something different. So some people are going to need this. Like, so I build Ferraris, but if you already have a Ferrari built, but you just need it customized a little bit, you need a little add-ons to it, you need to put a fairing on it, or maybe some T-tops, then I can do that, right? So then you're not going to have to pay the full price. You're just going to have to pay the price for those things. But then also, I write my own prices. So I could say it's $5 or it's $1,000 or it's $50,000, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of but if you're in a fiduciary, if you have a fiduciary responsibility, you have to stick to what, if you're selling insurance, you have to stick to what their deal is, right? Now, here's the one thing: coaching intensive retreats and workshops. So we got workshops up here again.
Right. So ignore that, but coaching intensive and retreats, talk about that one.
Right. So women gather, men retreat. You know why? Because women like to gather and men like to retreat. So that was a little joke. I've actually heard you tell it before.
I know. I discovered, well, I won't go into to that right now.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Mhm.
So what would be the difference between the retreats and the intensives?
I picture retreats like some like island or like a destination location where you go and you do a yoga workshop or something like that.
Yeah.
Coaching intensive sounds more like a instructional um, uh, seminar, workshop, whatever. So I see retreats as a getaway, whereas intensive is more learning, retreats more nurturing.
Yeah, I look at a workshop as in, again, what I said before. It's going to have worksheets. It's
Right.
going to be like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you're going to be in the workshop, and it could be a day or two,
Hmm.
and it's going to gloss over what you really need to do. I think a retreat takes the workshop to the next level, and it says, "Look, we're gonna go, and you're gonna wake up in the morning. You're gonna go on your morning walk and do your
Hmm.
meditation and eat your oatmeal with cranberries, and then
Right.
you're gonna talk with your friend and go on a windy walk and hold hands out in the forest, right? And then we're gonna go into the stuff that the workshop has, but
Hmm.
we're gonna go deeper into it. Then you're gonna take lunch and you're gonna go hike. You're gonna go on your little canoe, and you're going to come back and you're going to get into the same work that the workshop offers, but you're going to dive deeper into it. And then at night, you're going to have a dance party, right, at the bar. An intensive is we're going in there, we're locking the doors,
Hmm.
you ain't freaking leaving.
Right.
You're eating lunch through it, and you're doing all of the work that the retreat offers, but you don't get any of the fun stuff.
Right. Right.
And I
Exactly.
like intensives. I like going in there, and I don't like the fluff. I don't like going where people are like, well, I was born really poor and I had to eat lard sandwiches with sugar. That's what I had to do. I said that in front of my mom. She got so mad. You didn't eat lard sandwiches with sugar. And I was like, I know, Mom, I'm just trying to get your goat. But the intensives are no fluff. Like, we're gonna
Right.
get right. You're gonna wake up in the morning, you're gonna come in here, your pen's gonna hit the paper, we're gonna give you the content. It's gonna be hyper super focused. I
Hmm.
love those.
Yeah.
Retreats are nice, but any one of these as an entrepreneur, if you do any one of these, you're gonna be exhausted at the end.
Oh yeah.
Like
Definitely.
traffic and conversions, by the end of that whole weekend, just being an attendee, I
Hmm.
had to sleep all Monday. I
Yeah.
mean, the last day was Sunday, right? It got off, but I was just exhausted. It's
Yeah.
my brain. You burn so many brain calories. It's crazy, you know? And I know people that come out of there and they go, my head, that they do that. They literally say like too much information.
Hmm.
So I don't do that. Okay. So then, by the way, if you ever go to these 3-day things, make sure you get the video series so you don't have to go my head. You can watch it later and absorb it and not go crazy. It's a little pro tip. Memberships, again, I'd look at memberships as subscriptions.
Yeah. Me too.
What do you think the difference would be? Membership has its privileges, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you can have different levels of
Right.
membership.
Right. You can have platinum, gold. Yeah.
Right. And the other thing about the membership is everything that you learn in bronze is building you up to get to the silver. Everything you're learning in silver is building you up to gold. So if you're in gold, then you already know what's in silver and bronze.
Hmm.
And if you're hiding something in those lower levels, I don't know why you would do anything like that. It doesn't even make sense to me. It's kind of like going from a white belt to a black belt. Like if you're a purple belt and you don't know what a yellow belt does, then there's something rotten in the state of Denmark. But that is Coach Marketing Mastery in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, how do you want to wrap this up?
Well, there's more slides, but we have been going for a while.
Oh,
So,
there is?
yeah, there's like two more, but we have been going for 41
Are
minutes.
you sure?
Yeah, there were like 4 slides. Oh, did you not get the rest? Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Well, we can go over the price and the leg, the drumstick, meal with one side, and family size bucket,
Hmm.
right? So how would you describe these? We'll let you go through them all.
Well, I mean, like when you think about Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? So you can get a leg and a drumstick, basic option. Maybe that's the one off, the one session, the meal with one side, the mid tier. Maybe that's the package deal. And then you have a family size bucket. That's a high ticket where you're on, like you're a year, you pay for the year of coaching. So that's how I see that. What about you?
Well, I don't really like the one-on-one thing. It just never worked in my business model. But it would be, but if I was to look at it, the one-on-one, you just get more. Like you get this. Let's say you get a half, you get a couple hours or a half day or a full day, right? And you're going to get more the deeper you go. My old business partner, he charged $40,000 for one day.
Yeah.
And I remember the lady came in and just went, like a few hours in, just said, "Give me my money back." Like, you don't know. He's a good salesman. He just wasn't good at fulfilling.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like so you can get someone's money, but if you can't fulfill, then you better, you better be ready. Leg and drumstick meal with one side. And then if you're to look that in the membership thing, again, it's going to be bronze, silver, gold, platinum.
Yes.
And then the last one's going to be the pink spoon theory. So these are waffles, waffle cones.
Yeah, waffle. It's like an ice cream, right?
Yeah, I would like waffle cone. So you got your pink spoon, free lead magnet, and then you got the twip wire, and the core offer, right? So the core offer is going to be your main thing. So what is our core offer?
Well, we have our mastery. So that is a weekly group coaching call. And with that, they get so much more than that. I mean, they get software, they get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Coach Marketing Mastery, you're going to get go high level, you're going to get a landing page, you're going to get a funnel, you're going to get emails, and you're going to get texting. You get all this stuff. There's upsells in that. You don't get all that, but you do get you have the opportunity to get the landing page, but you're guaranteed to get the social media software. And the thing is, within that, behind that is then we want you to get so overwhelmed where you're like, can you just do this for us? Right. And then we go, sure. And then for a couple $1,000s a month, we do everything for you. And then you can relax and watch your business grow and scale.
Right. Well, and this is how you get people in the door. We're always talking about lead magnets, and some people don't know what that is. So why don't you tell them what it is? Because we've had people go, "What is a lead magnet?"
Yeah, the thing with the lead magnet is it's just going to be something to get someone's email address. Now, people say email is dead, but it's just going to be the law of reciprocity. I give you something, you give me something. So I'm going to give you a free book or a free video or something for your email address. Okay. So there's no monetary exchange in that. The tripwire, what they call the tripwire, is going to be when you go to Baskin Robbins, you take a taste, you get it for free. Then you say, give me a pint of butter pecan. By the way, I already know what I want when I go in there. I know I want a pint of butter pecan. However, I'm a glutton for ice cream, so I eat all of them. And then once I buy the little thing, then their core offer is going to be the birthday cake, right? Have you ever bought a birthday cake at Baskin Robbins?
I have.
How much is it?
Over $20, like probably close to 30 now.
Really? It must be
even more, or even more.
We get the ones at Costco; they're like $50, but it's that big, huge cake. It's
that's huge.
Yeah. So I guess you have the little birthday cakes.
Well, I haven't been, and since the girls were little, I'm sure with inflation, it's gone way up.
Yeah. Now you just can throw one get them one for their birthday and throw it at them. It'd be a lot more fun. But yeah, so then the core offer. So then the thing is also there's other things that aren't in here, like having something that's real super expensive that you don't expect anyone to buy, but when they buy it, you're not surprised. Right. And with me, it was when I bought my coffee maker at Starbucks. I went in there to buy a $5 cup of coffee. I bought $100 coffee machine. Right. I wasn't thinking of it, But then I thought, you know what? If I just had a Starbucks coffee machine, I would save money because then the coffee is going to be really inexpensive. That's not what happened. You're paying the same amount of money for the coffee. You just don't have to drive. So it saves you the drive time. But the cups of coffee, the packets were still $3 each. Ridiculous. So yeah, so that's kind of it. And I think we're at the last one. Oh, this is it. So that was the
No,
last.
I think that was the last one. Yeah.
So back to the beginning. If I hit reset, what does this do? Oh, I reset the
Yeah, why don't you just do us now? They don't need to see the slides anymore.
I reset the whatever.
No,
I
no,
reset.
do it side by side. Yes.
Go ahead and say something.
Well, let's talk about Coach Marketing Mastery.
Okay, so Coach Marketing Mastery is here's what our offer is. Coach Marketing Mastery is a paid program. We have something called Coach Marketing Master Class.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we're going to be doing starting in June, the 1st and 3rd Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're going to be doing for you is we're going to be offering just coaching for all things marketing for coaches. So we're going to be going over funnels, over how to write copy, how to make images, how to use Instagram, how to use social media, how the algorithms, how to get around the algorithms. It's everything marketing for coaches. Now, the other thing that we have is we actually have a paid program that is going up to $500 a month. You can set an appointment with India and myself to see if you qualify for that at businessgeni.us. So it's the word business genius, but there's a .geni.us, businessgeni.us. Go there, set an appointment with us. We'll show up and see if you're a fit to come into our program. So what do you have to say?
I do want to say something that if you're interested at all, show up at the masterclass because they're small and oftentimes you get personal coaching. So it is a no-brainer. You should show up, especially if this interests you at all. See what we're like, get a little taste, and then we can go from there.
Okay. Thank you, India.